The sun rose, casting a gentle glow over the monastery courtyard as the disciples assembled, awaiting their master's presence. Buddha emerged from the meditation hall, his footsteps soft but deliberate, as his gaze settled upon the gathering disciples. Without a word, he walked past them and headed toward a quiet grove near a tranquil pond amidst the greenery. The disciples followed, their robes whispering in harmony with the rustle of leaves stirred by the morning breeze. Buddha sat by the pond's edge, his expression serene, his eyes reflecting the still surface of the undisturbed water. Ananda, the ever-curious disciple, broke the silence, asking, "Master, what is the teaching for us to embrace today?" Buddha picked up a pebble from the ground, held it briefly, and gently cast it into the pond's center. Ripples emerged, radiating outward, disrupting the pond's stillness, their overlapping waves forming patterns before fading into stillness once more. The disciples gazed intently at the pond, puzzled by their master's gesture, their hearts yearning to decipher its meaning. "Master," Ananda ventured again, "what does this action signify? Is it a lesson we must discern through our contemplation?" Buddha turned his gaze to the pond and spoke. "The ripples are not separate from the water. They are born within it." The disciples listened, leaning closer, their minds attuned to the profound truth carried in Buddha's gentle voice. He continued, "Likewise, disturbances within you are not external. They emerge from your thoughts, attachments, desires, and hidden fears." Buddha paused, allowing his words to flow into the hearts of his disciples, like the ripples reaching the shoreline. He asked, "What happens to the pond when we cease casting stones? What becomes of its surface when untouched by disturbances?" Ananda responded, "The water remains still, its surface unmoving, reflecting the sky and trees in perfect clarity." Buddha nodded, his eyes radiating quiet wisdom. "This stillness is the state where truth can be seen unobscured. Your mind is like this pond," he continued. "When undisturbed, it becomes a mirror reflecting the true essence of existence." Another disciple asked, "Master, how can we cultivate this stillness in our minds amidst the chaos surrounding our lives?" Buddha gestured toward the pond, saying, "Observe. What does the water do to resist the disturbance created by the pebble?" The disciples observed quietly, realizing the answer. The water does not fight. It simply embraces the ripples until they fade. Buddha spoke, "Resistance is the path to prolonged suffering. Acceptance opens the door to the stillness you seek within." Ananda asked, "Master, does acceptance mean surrendering to desires, attachments, and emotions that disturb the balance of our being?" Buddha replied, "Acceptance is understanding their nature, neither clinging to nor resisting them, allowing them to pass like ripples." He said, "A pond that fights the ripples splashes and stirs itself further, distorting its clarity and losing its reflection." Another disciple asked, "Master, how can we learn to let go of desires and attachments that chain us to suffering?" Buddha replied, "To let go, you must first see them for what they are: fleeting, transient, illusions of permanence and control. Desires are like pebbles cast into your mind's pond. Understand their nature, and their weight will not ripple your stillness." Buddha concluded, "Practice mindfulness. Become the observer of your thoughts, not entangled with them. Let the ripples fade naturally." He rose from his seat and turned toward the disciples, his gaze unwavering, his presence illuminating their contemplative hearts. "Reflect upon what I have shown you today. Seek the stillness within, and your mind will become your true refuge." The disciples bowed deeply, their gratitude swelling as they sat by the pond, gazing into its serene, reflective surface. Buddha walked away, his figure disappearing into the grove, his lesson lingering like ripples spreading through their awakened minds. The disciples felt the weight of his teachings, realizing that each moment held an opportunity for silence, stillness, and reflection. As days passed, the disciples meditated by the pond, their minds gradually shedding the pebbles of attachment and seeking stillness. In time, the pond and its ripples became an eternal metaphor, guiding them toward mindfulness, balance, and the path of liberation. The silent teaching of the ripples resonated beyond words, shaping their journey toward enlightenment and the realization of ultimate truth. Within the monastery, the wisdom of the pond and the pebbles became a cherished foundation of their daily meditative practice. Through Buddha's unspoken guidance, they learned the art of seeing beyond disturbances to embrace clarity, silence, and inner transformation. The ripples of his lesson transcended time, carrying forth his silent wisdom to hearts beyond the boundaries of the monastery. Buddha's non-verbal teachings illuminated truths that words could not convey, revealing the profound beauty of mindfulness and inner peace. This silent teaching, inspired by the ripples, became an unending ripple of its own, touching lives and transforming minds eternally. The disciples walked paths of tranquility, their inner ponds reflecting the teachings of the Master who spoke wisdom in silence. Buddha's presence echoed in their hearts, a guiding light helping them navigate life with clarity, humility, and quiet strength. Through the silence, the disciples learned to see. Through the stillness, they discovered freedom. Through the ripples, they touched truth, and thus, the lesson of the pond became immortal, forever etched into the fabric of their souls and the universe. The end of this silent episode did not signify an end but a beginning, unfolding their journey toward liberation and peace. Each ripple faded, each pebble rested, and the disciples found the sacred stillness that transforms chaos into beauty, and pain into peace. Another day, another gathering beneath the ancient tree where the disciples assembled, eager to learn from their revered master's presence. Buddha emerged from his dwelling, his steps steady, his eyes luminous with the quiet wisdom of a timeless truth. Without speaking, he walked towards the monastery gate, his robes flowing with the breeze, beckoning his disciples to follow him. The disciples trailed behind, their hearts filled with anticipation, their minds prepared to receive the lessons yet to be revealed. Outside the gate grew a solitary flower, vibrant and delicate, swaying gently under the soft light of the morning sun. Buddha stopped before the flower, his gaze fixed upon its petals, observing its form with a calm, contemplative expression. The disciples encircled the master, gazing at the flower, their curiosity ignited by his silent communion with the blooming life. Buddha bent down, plucked the flower with care, holding it up for all to see. Yet he spoke not a word. The disciples stared at the flower, their thoughts racing, their silence mirroring the absence of explanation from their revered teacher. Minutes passed. The flower remained held aloft, until Kashyapa's face illuminated with understanding. Breaking into a serene and knowing smile, Buddha's eyes met Kashyapa's, his nod acknowledging the depth of insight that resonated between the master and his awakened disciple. Ananda broke the silence, asking, "Master, what is the meaning behind this flower? Is it a symbol of a hidden truth?" Buddha lowered the flower, placing it back upon the earth, restoring it to its place amidst the grass and soil. He spoke, "This flower lives without desires, without expectations, embracing the moment with quiet strength and profound simplicity." Through silence, Buddha continued, "It teaches us the beauty of being, the harmony of existence, and the fullness of impermanence." A disciple asked, "Master, how can we embody the simplicity and strength of the flower in our tumultuous, fleeting lives?" Buddha said, "Be like the flower, rooted yet free, embracing each moment, unhindered by ego, greed, or the fear of loss." Another disciple asked, "Master, Does the flower's silence convey wisdom beyond words? Is its teaching hidden in its quiet bloom? Buddha replied, "The flower speaks not in words. Yet its essence is a timeless teaching, profound for those willing to see. Like the flower," Buddha explained, "live without seeking recognition, for its beauty exists regardless of others perceiving it." Kashyapa spoke, his voice calm. "Master, is silence the language through which wisdom is imparted, unclouded by the noise of words?" Buddha smiled. "Silence transcends words, for it reflects the truth of the present moment, untouched by the distortions of thought." Ananda asked, "Master, how can we learn to listen to the silence and discern the wisdom it carries within its quiet?" Buddha said, "Listen not with your ears, but with your being, for silence speaks to the heart and awakens the soul." Through mindfulness, Buddha continued, "You hear the teachings not spoken, see the lessons not written, and feel the truth beyond form." Another disciple asked, "Master, does the flower's brief life teach us the impermanence of existence and the acceptance of this truth?" Buddha said, "The flower blooms, lives, and withers, yet it resists not its journey, teaching us acceptance and harmony in impermanence. The lesson of the flower," Buddha concluded, "is not merely its bloom, but its silent embrace of life and inevitable decay." He rose and turned to leave, his gaze lingering upon the flower as if entrusting its silent wisdom to his disciples. The disciples bowed in reverence, their hearts and minds stirred, carrying the silent teaching of the flower into their reflections. Days passed. The flower withered and returned to the soil, yet its essence remained alive within the hearts of the disciples. They began to see the beauty in silence, in simplicity, in the quiet moments that held profound truths within their lives. The silent teaching of the flower became their guiding principle, shaping their journey toward mindfulness, humility, and inner liberation. Through Buddha's unspoken wisdom, the disciples learned to see beyond appearances, embracing the deeper truths hidden in life's fragile moments. The flower's bloom became a symbol of mindfulness, its silence a reminder of the teachings found in presence and awareness. The disciples found strength in the silence, discovering that truth transcended words and wisdom flourished within the quiet bloom of life. The lesson of the flower, imparted in silence, lived on, shaping their paths toward enlightenment and the realization of ultimate peace. Buddha's presence lingered in their hearts, his wisdom resonating in their minds, guiding them to navigate existence with simplicity and clarity. Through the silence of the flower, the disciples learned the profound beauty of life's fleeting moments and the strength of being. And thus, the flower's silent bloom became immortal, an eternal metaphor for the essence of mindfulness and the truth of impermanence. The silent teaching of the flower illuminated their paths, forever transforming their minds, hearts, and spirits with its quiet wisdom. Buddha's lessons unfolded like the petals of the flower, revealing truths that inspired the disciples to seek liberation through stillness. As the flower's silence spoke, the disciples learned to listen, to see, and to embrace the path of wisdom within their souls. Each day, the disciples meditated upon the flower's lesson, its teachings resonating through their hearts, guiding them to awaken their inner peace. Another day, another moment beneath the ancient tree where the disciples gathered to hear their master's teachings and embrace wisdom. Buddha emerged from his dwelling, his figure radiant with calm presence, carrying an empty bowl cradled gently in his hands. Without a word, he walked toward the disciples, setting the bowl down before them, its silence heavier than any spoken word. The disciples stared at the empty bowl, its simplicity baffling, its presence stirring questions they longed to pose to their master. Ananda asked, "Master, what lesson does this bowl contain? Is it a metaphor for a hidden truth we must unravel?" Buddha gestured toward the bowl and spoke. This bowl holds nothing, yet its emptiness is its power, its infinite potential. The disciples leaned closer, intrigued by the mystery, eager to discover the wisdom woven within the silence of the empty bowl. Buddha said, "An empty bowl awaits the nourishment it receives. It does not cling to what is offered, nor resist what departs. Your mind," Buddha continued, "must be like this bowl, open, free of judgment, ready to receive wisdom, unclouded by pride or assumptions." Ananda asked, "Master, how can we empty our minds when they are burdened by thoughts, fears, desires, and unyielding attachments?" Buddha replied, "To empty your mind, you must first let go of attachment to thoughts, allowing them to come and go freely." Another disciple asked, "Master, is emptiness a state we should seek, or is it a natural reflection of mindful existence?" Buddha explained, "Emptiness is not absence. It is presence without clutter. Space for truth, clarity for wisdom, freedom from suffering." He said, "The bowl does not resist its emptiness, nor does it crave fulfillment, yet it remains ready to serve its purpose." The disciples pondered his words, their hearts reaching toward the deeper understanding that lay beyond the confines of spoken explanations. Buddha said, "Resisting emptiness fills you with suffering. Accepting emptiness makes room for transformation, liberation, and the awakening of peace." A disciple asked, "Master, does the bowl teach us to relinquish control and embrace the flow of life with quiet resilience?" Buddha replied, "The bowl is without control. It embraces what life offers, releasing what life takes, rooted in its purpose." Another disciple asked, "Master, how does the bowl's emptiness guide us toward clarity, away from the distortions of fear and desire?" Buddha said, "Empty your bowl of fear, for fear clouds your vision. Empty it of desire, for desire chains you to illusions." He added, "An empty bowl reflects the truth of existence, untainted by ego, untouched by the shadows of doubt and greed." Ananda asked, "Master, does the bowl represent the eternal potential of the mind to grow, evolve, and receive the lessons of life?" Buddha smiled, "Yes, your mind, like the bowl, holds infinite capacity for wisdom, but only when free from the burden of clutter." Another disciple asked, "Master, does the bowl's silence teach us to listen deeply, beyond words, into the heart of the universe?" Buddha replied, "Silence is a teacher. Listen to the silence of the bowl, and you will hear the truth it carries within. The bowl does not speak, yet it reveals its wisdom to those who pause, observe, and understand without the need for words." Buddha lifted the bowl, passing it around to his disciples, each one holding it, feeling its emptiness, reflecting upon its essence. When the bowl returned to Buddha's hands, he said, "Carry this emptiness within you. Let your heart and mind reflect its clarity." Through mindfulness, Buddha concluded, "Empty your inner bowl and make space for wisdom, peace, and the profound beauty of existence." He rose and left the gathering, his steps quiet, his presence lingering, his teaching resonating within the hearts of his disciples. The disciples sat beneath the tree, their thoughts touched by the simplicity of the empty bowl, their minds longing for transformation. Days passed. The empty bowl remained as a symbol of clarity, its lesson guiding the disciples toward mindfulness and inner liberation. They began to see the beauty in emptiness, in the silence of their hearts, where wisdom unfolded without effort or resistance. The silent teaching of the empty bowl became their foundation for meditation, helping them navigate life's chaos with humility and strength. Through Buddha's unspoken wisdom, the disciples learned to see beyond the noise of thoughts, embracing emptiness and the truth it revealed. The bowl's silence taught them to listen deeply, its emptiness inspiring them to cultivate peace within their restless minds and hearts. The lesson of the empty bowl became immortal, shaping their paths toward enlightenment and the realization of truth and boundless potential. Buddha's presence lingered in their hearts, his teachings illuminating their minds, guiding them to navigate existence with simplicity and mindfulness. Through the silence of the bowl, the disciples learned the profound beauty of letting go and the transformative power of acceptance. And thus, the empty bowl's silent wisdom became an eternal metaphor for the infinite capacity to receive, reflect, and awaken. The silent teaching of the bowl illuminated their paths, forever transforming their minds, hearts, and spirits with its quiet strength. Buddha's lessons unfolded like ripples in their souls, inspiring them to seek liberation through stillness, simplicity, and mindful contemplation. As the bowl's silence spoke, the disciples learned to listen, to see, and to embrace the path of wisdom within their being. Each day, the disciples meditated upon the bowl's lesson, its teachings resonating through their hearts, guiding them to awaken their inner peace. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.